You're going to take your sheet of paper and you're going to fold it in half the long way. This is just printer paper, so it's really not that thick. So you can easily just flatten it with your finger. You want to make sure that your corners line up nicely and that this is fairly flat, okay? Then you're going to open it up and you're going to rotate it the other direction and fold it the different direction here. Once again, lining up your corners and your edges first, then pushing down on the bubble, that's what I call it, with your finger, maybe your nail. And if it's not quite flat, use the back of your scissors for now, or even a marker to make it nice and flat. You're going to take the edge, so I have the edge right here, and you're going to line it up with the fold here. And you're going to push it down one more time. Once again, go over the top of it with a marker or your scissors. Flip it over, and let's do that again. Taking the edge and lining it up to the fold and pushing down the paper. Now, what you'll have is either an M or W, depends on what kind of person you are, and that's exactly how you want it. So these are kind of like wings on a bird, and we don't want to cut the wing, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to line it up with that fold that is down the middle of the body of this zine. And you go all the way into that corner. And when you go all the way in the corner, it'll easily open like this. If it doesn't easily open, you may not have gone all the way in. It's really hard to see in this. The shadow doesn't quite show here. But you'll open it all the way up like that. And you're going to rotate this so they all go to one side like this. Obviously, there's these little bumps here. So once again, take your marker or the back of your scissors and flatten it so it's nice and flat like this. Okay? So once you have this, you will want to mark the covers and the pages. Just with the first one you do, just so you understand what it'll look like when it's finished. So what you're going to do is you're going to label the front. You don't have to do this in marker. You could do it in pencil if you want. And then I put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to write back on here. This is only for demonstration purposes. If you do it in pencil, then you won't see, then you can always erase it later. But what you'll notice is that when I open this up, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, and 4 are facing one direction, and then 5, 6, back and front are facing another direction. And that's okay, that's totally normal, because when you assemble it again, you'll always know where the front and the back are, and the pages are right back in the order of the original design. Now what you're going to do with this is, here's another mock-up, but there's nothing significant in this at all. But as you can see, I have the title page, and I created some borders, and I started writing once upon a time, blah, 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 and some pretend text, and maybe a landscape image, maybe a face, and some more text. And then so on and so forth. And I put my name and the date on the back, and maybe some more information. The key is make it bright, colorful, interesting to read, all sorts of stuff. So you can use poetry that you've written in another class, maybe drawings that you've done that are small enough to fit on your zine, maybe photographs that you made photocopies of and put into it. Use whatever materials that you might want to use or might have around the house to make something kind of interesting. I'll show you a couple different things that my students have made in the past. All ages do this, so you can, this one in particular was it says, what is life? With a big question mark. And what she ended up doing was primarily taking images and old paintings and old images and stuff like that. And she would fill in the background first, and then she'd put this text over the top of it. Okay? And then she included some marker type writing as well. She would handwrite in some of the corners and stuff like that. And then the thing is you can tell none of this stuff peels off. So what she ended up doing was taking her original piece and putting it on a printer or copier, and then making a copy of this, and then reassembling this. And then this is the one she gave away. The other one she kept as her original copy. So there's a lot of things you can do with these. If you become really proud of one and you're like, this is awesome and I want to send some to my friends and my family, then what I would suggest doing is asking permission from your parents and scan it in on your printer, and then either make copies in the printer or possibly send them to a print shop that they can make the copies. Because I don't know about you, but if I printed this off, I would run out of blue ink really, really fast. So you got to be careful about using up your family's ink, especially when we're all working from home. So what you do with a zine is completely up to you. It's an opportunity for you to share ideas in a fairly inexpensive way. You can be as creative as you want. It can be as simple as you want. There are so many different things you can do with it. It's just one more tool in your toolbox as far as being creative every single day. Have fun.